Howdy, this is Tom the Disabled Prepper. Welcome back. This is chapter 2 in My Country 'Tis of Thee presentations that I'm doing with the hopes of encouraging and increasing unity amongst my fellow citizens and patriots of this country. So this is called Where We Came From, which is basically kind of just some quick information about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and why it's important that we have these documents and what they mean for us. Now, obviously, most people have a pretty good idea that this country is divided. And of course, united we stand, divided we fall. So whoever, although I do kind of accept conspiracy theories on a certain level, I don't think there's like some huge brainiac mastermind behind the division of our country in a specific sense. In a general sense, yes, because I do believe in good and evil, right and wrong, and I believe that at least at one point, and because of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the United States of America is a good country. And evil will always do whatever it can to destroy what is good, including countries and people and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just kind of speaking generally about this because I don't really have the time for specifics. And everybody has personal beliefs on specifics, and for the sake of unity, I don't want to discuss specifics. I just want to discuss generalities. And that brings me to one of my other points that I want to make, and that is there was a monk named Augustine, and he has a saying, he is quoted as saying, "In essentials, unity; in non-essentials, liberty; in all things, charity." Of course, St. Augustine being a monk, he is coming from a Judeo-Christian or a biblical viewpoint. And part of the reason I bring that up is because so did our country. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights, I believe, as some call it, were devised by divine providence or divine guidance. And I believe originally the United States was in fact intended to be a Christian nation or a Judeo-Christian nation based on, for instance, the Golden Rule: do unto others as you would have others do unto you, with the primary focus being a person's individual freedom, liberty, and responsibility. And of course, most people know there's a difference between freedom and liberty, and with freedom and liberty comes responsibility, as they say now. And it's kind of as a humor in movies, with great power comes great responsibility. And the United States, I believe, was originally given that power by divine providence to create a more perfect union, etc., etc. Anyway, now I'm starting to get into specifics, but generally as I said, I want to encourage unity amongst our fellow citizens and patriots of this country. And the reason I brought up Augustine is, in essentials, unity. And so what we as patriots and citizens of this United States who believe in our country and believe in the Constitution it was founded on, we need to stick to those essentials, and we need to be unified in those essentials. And united we stand, divided we fall. And so what we want to do is, we don't want to make the essentials so numerous and so broad that there's no room for individual liberty. See? And I believe this is part of what our founders originally intended. Anyway, so I'm going to post a graphic at the end of this video on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And the Constitution has, I want to say, 27 amendments, although please don't quote me on that. But the first 10 amendments of the Constitution are actually the Bill of Rights. So I want my viewers, I want all Americans to read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, see what the words that are actually used. And I believe if a person actually spends a little bit of time trying to understand the words that are used in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, that it will be pretty plain. For instance, the Second Amendment being shall not be infringed. It's kind of pretty plain if you just read it carefully, the way it's written. It's very plain. And I believe the entire Constitution was done the same way, to be made as plain as possible so that the average man, the average Joes like you and I, we can understand our Constitution and abide by it and live by it. So, read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, just take a little bit of quiet time, no music in the background, nothing happening, and just kind of study it just a little bit, read it carefully, and try to picture in essentials unity. Our country has to reunify. We have to get rid of this division or we are going to fall. And I personally don't want to raise a firearm against one of my fellow citizens or actually any other human in the world. I will if I have to, but I want that to be the absolute very, very last thing I ever have to do. And I think if we, in essentials, unity, if we to get together as Americans and agree on these essentials, then we can reunify and our country will become strong again. Okay, remember to always keep your nose in the wind and your eyes along the skyline. Till we meet again. Bye.